What did Musk accomplish so far with Twitter? He single-handedly turned it into a $19 billion company, a year after paying $44 billion for it. He successfully reduced the value by more than half. He got a lot of people to leave the platform forever. He has shown to the world that social media is full of absolute wretched people. He lost about half of the top 100 advertisers, resulting in a 50% drop in ad revenue. He removed a ton of content moderation, resulting in rampant propaganda, hate speech, and misinformation. He fired a large part of Twitter employees, stressing out the remaining workforce. He disabled a lot of Twitter's microservices, leading to some larger issues in performance. He closed multiple Twitter data centers. Generally speaking, he has had a very negative effect on Twitter and has not improved its situation at all. Most people on here seem to be talking about the company's stock value or whatever. So I'll touch on the user experience instead. I honestly can't say too much positive. I guess if you're a free speech absolutist, as Musk claims to be, maybe you think it's better to remove restrictions on hate speech and such. But he's not even that, because he started banning users who criticized or impersonated him as soon as he introduced the Twitter Blue thing. As far as broader objective negatives go, I think the limit on tweets non-paying users can view each day has been very bad for global awareness of big news stories. When there are major world events going on that can't readily be covered by traditional news media, due to physical restrictions on access or media blackouts or government interference, Twitter has long been the source for on-the-ground, real-time information. Think of the Arab Spring, where Twitter was basically the main way on-the-ground info was getting out to the world. With restrictions on usage of Twitter, following and reporting on important world events becomes much more difficult. I even recall that as soon as those tweet limits got put in place, some weather organization, National Weather Service, maybe, put out a tweet urging people to shift to their website for real-time info on weather events like snowstorms and hurricanes, because their Twitter feed could no longer be relied upon to provide real-time updates throughout the duration of the event. For people stuck in the middle of those events, or for people whose loved ones are stuck in them, that's a pretty big resource that's no longer available. Subjectively speaking, I just find it very annoying that I can only catch up with a very limited number of tweets from the accounts I follow each day. When you're scrolling through Twitter, 100 tweets, or whatever the number is, go by pretty fast. In like 5 minutes I'm pretty much locked out for the day. I used to be a daily, multiple times a day user, but I've basically stopped using it entirely because it's just such a worthless experience now. Anyway, I hope that helps answer your question, L. Why are you afraid to ask this? To actually answer the question Op posed, Twitter is still up and running despite a massive reduction in workforce. Twitter is still the top microblogging website. Meta's Threads, which launched at the most opportune time possible, didn't cause a big upset to Twitter's dominance. Community notes are now a widely used feature, whereas before they were barely implemented. So if you want accomplishments, there are a few. Downvote button to the left. He sacked a bunch of people, lost it a lot of money, devalued it as a platform, and most importantly of all, lost me as a user. Even on Too Afraid to Ask, Reddit is not the place to ask this if you want serious answers. He's as good at running Twitter as Trump was at being president. He also has a lot of fanboys. Know how to make a small fortune with Twitter. Start with a large one and involve Musk, Tesla owner, BTW. His plan is to kill Twitter and blame it on the ad companies canceling him. It's a political move he's quite open about. That it has a logo of a porn site. The Twitter files exposing how government is coordinating with social media platforms to censor content. He also released the source code for Twitter's algorithm, reinstated banned accounts, and promotes free speech and expression of ideas. On the downside, free speech means speech and content that many may find offensive. The company's value is down significantly. He believes in public moderation, where content is pushed or restricted based on interactions. Look up the Twitter files if you want the real answer. I stuck around on there for professional reasons. I'm a freelancer and it's a form of advertising for me. Although I don't pay for ads or the blue tick, I haven't noticed any of my friends or contacts leaving outright. But I've felt the feed getting less interesting, useful to me, and as a result I've been spending less time there, and I get a sense that others are doing the same, and it's becoming something of a vicious circle. I've also noticed over the last few months I've been followed by a ton of what appear to be spam bots. Odd, because the service I provide is rather dry and not particularly lucrative for my clients. I'm an editor of books, not an obvious potential client for sex bots. Lol. Nothing. All he's done is turn Twitter into a right-wing crying page. How the F is Lauren Boebert and MTG on my feed? Along with other maggots? I'm a staunch Democrat. He is a giant asshole. He accomplished not going to jail and paying $1 billion in fines for manipulating the market. That's the only reason he bought it. Pros. He got rid of a lot of non-value-added employees, thus reducing costs significantly. Cons. He eliminated any form of moderation, which has driven away a huge chunk of advertising revenue. I would guess, but don't really know, that the loss of income has exceeded the savings from personnel cuts. That does not bode well for the long-term future of the company.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.